I am trying to get home for 2 hours. I gotta go home, grab 1 hour with my kids, come back here, see...
Don't grab kids, Kevin Spacey, please.
He already has at this point.
Ah, that's the worst part. Is that Ed Harris?
That's Ed Harris, baby.
With a full head of hair?
Oh, wow. He lives up to his name. Can you imagine if phone booths were still a thing you had to do instead of having a cell phone? Imagine if I didn't have quarters in that specific moment.
Okay, is that Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
Yes!
Ding, ding, ding.
Do you remember when he released Kill 'Em With Kindness and the next day one of his alleged victims committed suicide?
Do you think it's coincidence or do you think
No,
Kevin
I think he
Spacey's
did it. I think he fucking did it.
Yeah, but you also think Boris Karloff killed Black Dahlia.
I don't actually think that. That's true, but I don't actually think that.
Oh, my daughter calls. Anybody calls, I'm over at the office, huh?
I thought you can't call back a payphone.
In action movies all the time, we see, like, people answering payphones because they want to be anonymous, so they'll call the payphone in the street. How the fuck do you do that?
Isn't that a plot point in Fight Club?
Yeah, that's
He gets a call
deal.
on the payphone, but it's not real because
Yeah.
he's a schizophrenic.
Doesn't Victor Zsasz do that? in the
Yeah,
Batman game?
yeah. How do you even call that?
Oh, this is the scene that...
the
they were
only
talking
scene
about.
Alec Baldwin's in.
Yep.
Really?
Coffee's for closers only.
Don't they say that in Boss Baby?
So he referenced his own movie, Alec Baldwin, when doing that in Boss Baby.
Fuck you. Go home and play with your kids. You want to work here? Close.
I don't want to work here.
You think this is abuse?
Yeah.
Give them to you is just throwing them away. They're for closers.
Yeah, well, it's closing all right. My court case.
He's going through them like 14-year-old boy, 13-year-old boy. All right, thank you.
Ooh, adults, get that shit out of here.
So if the top salesman of the month gets the El Dorado, the second gets steak knives, and the third and below gets fired, then he's going to have 2 employees left.
Yeah. You hire 2 new salesmen.
You just do it again every month. Wow, that sounds like hell.
It's like Vivarium.
Why would anyone work here?
I feel like for the sake of drama, obviously this movie
Yeah.
is having everyone stay and compete. But like if I was one of these guys, I'd be like, all right, fuck you. I'll go find a new job.
I am willing to bet money that if any boss anywhere in any sales dealership did this, almost every single person would walk out immediately.
No.
I don't know, because like in these movies, like the money movies, like this, Wolf of Wall Street, stuff like that, like the investment banking movies, they all make it out like investment banking is the second best thing to fucking.
I can do it on my phone nowadays.
Yeah, you invest in the stock market.
Yep.
And you're not going on like wild coke sex parties. Wall Street, that's the name of the movie with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
That
is
movie's great, don't get me wrong. But like you never see it the other way around where it's like fucking's the second best thing to investment banking, you know? Like nobody's like, "Oh, baby, I'm going to plow you like I'm a fucking day trader."
Where's Don John? But he's addicted to stocks instead of fucking.
Also, if you're a day trader, you're probably on coke, which means that you can't get it up. Just saying.
No, microdose. It's fine.
If you microdose 10 times a day, you're dosing. Also, more importantly, coffee's like $3. Like, it's not... Why are you flipping your shit on this one dude?
That coffee's free.
He flipped his shit on everyone.
He
It's
did.
like, dude, you need to like let the meth pass through your body and then
Put
we can
that
talk.
fucking coffee down.
What was that figure? $76,000. Oh, Danny, I wish you could have.
I would buy that now. I can almost afford that.
Ian.
I could put a down payment on that.
Ian, it's a scam.
It's called real estate, Mud. Not fake estate.
No, but you know what? Fine. Buy the fucking fake estate, man.
Fake estate, he sells you a house, you show up on the lot, it's an empty field.
With this toilet paper that you're giving me, you give me 1 premium lead.
Do you know what
And
the
I could
premium
become-
leads cost?
I know what the premium leads cost. Yeah, I know what they cost.
So, you know, it's kind of a parody, but, like, it's working with the tone of a little over the top, and it's making it really dramatic and good, actually.
Now, Mr. Spaniel, your name is Larry. Do you mind if I call you Larry?
You can call me Get Out of My House. It's like 10 p.m. This is a movie that would never work in the modern day because nobody would ever just let some dude in their house.
I'd shoot someone. China Resto.
China Bowl Restaurant.
Nope. Bull rant.
I'm just saying, used car salesman, best opportunity for these guys.
Absolutely.
You don't even have to stay there forever, just something to hold you over till you find a new
Used
job.
car salesman in New York where there's too much public transport.
They're in Chicago, it's set, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it's shot in New
Shot
York.
in New York and Chicago, yep.
Yep.
That's why there's Dunkin' Donuts, because they don't really have those in Chicago.
You didn't?
No, not actually.
Did you?
What did I say?
What did you say?
I said not actually.
Fuck you care, George. We're just talking.
We are?
Yes.
But she call you on the counter.
It wasn't me.
That's what this conversation is.
Did you talk to Graham? What did I say?
What'd he say?
What did he say?
I love the cuts back and forth in this conversation, man. You know, for salesmen, they spend a lot of time drinking at this Chinese restaurant. Alan Arkin just sounds confused in this movie.
Alan Arkin always sounds confused. Is it tomorrow?
No, that's the other Jonathan Pryce movie.
You're right. Sorry, that one never dies.
Who told me we had a robbery? We got a fucking board up on the window. Who is this? Yes, I confess. I did it. Now, leave me a second here, please.
I understand why he won the Oscar. Or
I think he was just nominated. I don't know if
I
he won.
understand why he was nominated. I think Al Pacino's starting to put it together.
Can we get some coffee?
How you doing?
Fine.
He does
Al
know.
Pacino totally knows.
He has to know.
He's the only smart one in the room.
I talked to Mitch and Murray an hour ago. They're coming in. You understand? They're a bit
Did you
upset
tell
over
them my
this morning.
sale?
I told you they stole our phones. You fucking idiot.
You put me on that fucking board, and I want 3 promising leads for today, and I don't want any bullshit about them, and I want them close together.
I can't make this any clearer. The leads have been stolen.
They're not in the building. Jesus fucking Christ.
You can't just want them into existence.
Here's 3 shitty ones. Fuck off.
Will you get out of here? Will you? I'm trying to run an office here. Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?
I think he is doing the worst out of all the mains.
I agree. Kevin Spacey is, molesting children, but like in terms of his acting, he's not bringing anything compared to the other 4 and Jonathan Pryce.
Kevin Spacey is doing really well, but everyone else is doing so great that he seems lackluster by comparison.
Spacey's doing all right, and everyone else is doing fantastic.
Exactly.
What's weird is like the idea that someone would want to that isn't already one of these businessmen that would want to rob this office is kind of dumb, because
There's nothing here.
you can't do rogue real estate. You can't do illegal, because as soon as you sell one of the houses in that book, they go, "Oh, that sold. Who did it? Him? All right, arrest." Like
He stole our leads.
he stole all of our lead. Like there's no way around it. So,
Well, the fact that they're going to work for the other real estate thing means
But then the other
maybe
real estate, it's like you stole our leads.
yeah, they find one thing sold.
They could have also gotten those leads from somewhere else.
Yeah,
You know
but
what? You make a good point there, Ian.
once is a coincidence. Once 2 or 3 start popping up, and they go, "Oh wow, all from
Well,
the same."
all they
time.
need to do is wait a couple weeks, and those leads could have went out to other people.
My point is, the more you do, the more easily it is to get caught.
I'm gonna be with you in a second.
I respect this actor behind him for just keeping that face of just disappointment for like the entire scene
And not losing his shit laughing at this.
because
this
he's
is
been
amazing.
like, "It's time," and then he says no, and then he just sits there and goes and waits.
He's berating
It's
Kevin
like the
Spacey
10th
right now.
time
dude.
he's just sitting and waiting. Oh, thank God he's going into. Oh my God, no! I feel
And
so
another
bad.
thing.
I feel so bad for him. Look at him.
Where's like the SpongeBob 10 hours later?
He's just giving him a third asshole. And another thing.
Let me tell you something else for 3 hours.
Rips the door open, and another fucking thing, you stupid cunt.
Can't think on your feet. You ought to keep your mouth closed. Hey, can you hear me?
Oh,
I'm talking to
fucking
you.
Shelley.
Now he's gonna 5th asshole, 7th asshole.
How do you know I made it up?
What?
How do you know I made it up?
What are you talking about?
You said you don't make something up unless it's sure to help. How did you know I made it up?
What are you talking about?
He clarified 3 times, dude.
I'm walking in that door. You got 5 seconds to tell me, or you were going to jail. Yeah, I don't care. You understand?
Oh no, now it's Kevin Spacey tearing someone else a new asshole, just like usual.
I've been on a hot streak. So what? Things I can learn from you.
1 2 1 2 1 2 is what he just dialed.
Hello, Mrs. Delgari.
Immediately went back to selling. That's funny.
All right, guys, out of 10.
Whew, Ian, you go last.
You do
Yeah,
go last.
I'm well aware.
That was a really good, low-budget, self-contained film.
I loved it. You could definitely tell it was like based on a play though, because they didn't change much. It's just
It's like two settings.
Each scene is just 15 minutes long, and it has like 5 guys in it, just walking around.
Yeah, but that's good.
It
That's part of the
works.
charm.
It works for this movie, and I think what they did with a lot of the performances and interplay between the characters, I think that's what makes this movie so
oh my
fun.
god, every actor brought it.
It's funny because each character talks in a very similar tone and style and manner, And usually that would become bland and boring, but in this context, it illustrates about the environment.
Yeah, the
And-
salesman environment. You have to have that fake voice to try to. Yeah.
what they're doing with and to each other.
You gotta convince everyone it's like fucking.
Yeah, because the movie isn't about Ricky, Roma, Al Pacino. It's more about the world and what these men have to go through and what some people will do just to get ahead in the
And
world.
I love how it's just this like wild night for all four of them, and in the morning it's like, all right, back to it.
Back to
this
it.
is a
Yep.
day in the life.
No different. Yep.
You
It's
can tell
awesome.
by one of the last scenes when Alan Arkin sits down and he goes, "All right, so what about that? Like, he was part of this, and then all of a sudden he's just still doing it."
Yep.
Yep.
Life goes on. I think that's an awesome moral for a movie like this. I am between 8 and 9. I don't know where.
I'm feeling an 8. A really good film. It's really well acted. I think it's really well shot and well directed.
Yep.
And I really love every character in this fucking movie, except maybe like John Williamson, Kevin Spacey's character. He's just such a non-entity
He's a non-entity. He becomes
in comparison.
toward the end when he figures out who did the crime, he starts to come to fruition.
Also,
But-
he's just got like that weird Kevin Spacey monotone the entire time.
I know, and I think a lot of my enjoyment was hampered by the fact that Kevin Spacey is a terrible person.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
'Cause
even
you're
gonna
just
hide
looking
that.
at him, and it's like we're making jokes about it, but that
Yep.
should not take away from the fact that that man is a child molester.
Yeah, we'll say like, haha, kids or whatever, and then we'll laugh, and then slowly I'll just kind of devolve back into, oh, that's just, he's just
Yeah, it's
gross.
like, haha, oh god, that's real.
That's real.
Can't wait to watch American Beauty, where that's the whole movie.
Oh my god, it's gonna be an undercurrent the entire time.
That's the current. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is just real. I hate this.
Anyways, aside from Kevin Spacey being scummy,
I can't downgrade the movie for something that Kevin Spacey personally did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I
that's
stick
true.
with
also
8.
thankfully he's such a non-presence in this film.
Yeah,
True.
I agree. It's so good.
It's like if Al Pacino ended up being something bad, it's like
I would probably go with a solid 8. I'm gonna stick with it.
I think 8 or 9 as well. I really enjoyed myself. I didn't think it was gonna be as dramatic. I thought it was gonna be more of like, because it's
I thought it was
technically
gonna
like,
be a comedy.
yeah, there are some really funny bits.
You
but
pitched it as a parody of Death of a Salesman.
It sort of is because
Death of a fucking salesman
Yeah.
is what they called it.
It's like more gritty, realistic parody though, not like a funny comedy parody.
Yep.
Yeah.
I expected like more of a comedy funny parody and less of the gritty realistic parody, but I think the gritty realism worked better.
I liked it.
Because
I
if
liked
it
it
was
a
just
lot.
like, whoa, I would have been like, oh, this sucks. The
Yeah.
funny moments in this movie are like the real life, like, fuck you moments that happen in this.
What's your
And
name?
it's-
Fuck you. That's my
What's your
name.
name? Fuck you. Or
That's
what?
fucking
Like the
hilarious.
whole berating Kevin Spacey scene. Kevin Spacey fucks up, and Al Pacino's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And he berates him for 5 minutes.
And another thing.
Like, that's funny for me.
There was ever a post-credit scene for this movie. I hope it would just be Al Pacino coming back to the office and just going off at
And
Kevin.
another fucking thing. I really like how Al Pacino looks up to Jack Lemmon's character too, because he
Yeah, it's
taught him
nice.
everything. And at the end, he's like, "That's the machine. That's the best guy I know." And it's like,
I committed crimes.
I committed crimes. Everything was coming up Shelley, and then all of a sudden, it
And
all
you-
went down
if
Shelley.
if you listen to his story, like I was replaying his story, he's talking about how they're not saying much and they like slumped forward in their seat, and it's like, yeah, they were probably having a fucking episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait a minute. Holy shit.
that's good writing. You
That's
don't realize
good
until after.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
you know, his story is like this huge dramatization about how they were just so in awe of his presence, but in actuality they were just like spun out.
Yep.
I mean, that's a drug term, but like you get what I
Yeah.
mean.
No, I
know
understand.
exactly what you mean.
That's so funny.
They're not all there.
It's hilarious.
Ian, you picked a
looking back-
banger.
Yeah, I picked an unknown banger because I didn't know how this was gonna be. I only knew the movie existed from a podcast that wasn't even about movies.
Yep.
I'm glad you took a gamble, man.
So with all that out of the way, Mud.
Ian, you took a really big gamble on a movie we'd never seen before, and it ended up being a really good time.
Oh yeah, months have you seen this movie? Never mind, not Waterworld.
I took a gamble last time, and it didn't play out, and MASH sucked.
Yep.
So
oh, it was so
I
bad.
was like, you know what? I was actually going to pick this last time, but I pushed it back. I just want to pick a movie that we've all seen and we all really like and just have a good time, because we don't get to do that often, because usually we pick really bad movies.
Yep, that's
Well,
true.
speak for yourself.
Fuck you.
No, I'm speaking only for you.
Whoa, all right, Daredevil, calm down.
Total Recall 2012.
It slapped. It's not the real Maury, Doug.
That's pretty much all the intro I have. Is we've all seen this movie. We all really liked this movie, and I just want to watch it again because I haven't actually seen it since we saw it in theaters. So, guys, I have good news. It's not a Cloverfield movie because we're watching Overlord.
Hey, I like that one.
Yeah.
I remember that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
The meat hook scene is gonna be
Oh,
good.
we're gonna get the meat hook.
Fucking love the meat hook.
No, not the meat hook.